I hope you're ready for the challenge because we're going to speed it up today. Welcome to Talking Technique No Treble. Part 2 of the challenge. Did you take me up on it? So the deal was, for 2 weeks, since last Talking Technique episode aired, you practiced a permutation exercise of your choosing, including the twist with the mirror imaging, as well as the twist with the pivot permutations. Sounds hecka complicated, but really isn't. You pick a number, 1, 2, 4, 3 was mine. You read it backwards, 3, 4, 2, 1, and you write both of those combinations of numbers down so you have them in front of you. It makes it much easier to keep track. Then you create the pivot permutations of both of those sets of numbers. So the first one starts with 1, so my pivot is going to be the number 1. So 1, 2, 1, 4, 1, 3. And then we practiced that all the way up. And once I was on top, I turned around. And I turned around to the mirror image, which is in its pivot permutation 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so going up 1, 2, 1, 4, 1, 3, all the way, always alternating with index and middle on the right, and gets tough when you get up here. And then you turn around. Okay, always alternating with index and middle. So that was our deal. You got to practice it at tempo 116 with maybe half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes. If you do that for 2 weeks, that is a nice foundation to jump into what I want to show you today, which is we're going to speed this up. And I like speeding things up without even touching my metronome. I just always double, double, double. But there are certain tricks that you can use to help you get to speed. Now, if quarter notes at that tempo are hard for you, so this is 116, and if that's where you're at, and that's entirely fine. If you can, double it up for eighth notes. That's fine too. Okay, but I want to show you today how to get to speed. And if the speed is to get from quarter notes to eighth notes, that's totally fine. If your speed is how to get from eighth notes to 16th notes, I'm going to double that. Then I'm going to show you how as well. Fast is fun and impressive and flashy, and I have several tricks up my sleeves to show you how to play fast stuff. So one of those I'm going to give you today. But before I even go into that, there's one more time that I want to say. You have to do it slow first. Not that you need to practice for years slowly. No, not at all. But spare a minute or 2 or 3 every time you practice using the PORA method. Playing relaxed, being focused on very specific items of your playing. Keeping the fingers closed, keeping your shoulders down, breathing, alternating. These sort of regiments that I talk about in Talking Technique all the time. So if you get yourself the PORA guide, figure that out and just do a minute or 2, because this is the fastest way I know to get to fast playing by slowing it down. Here's tempo 116, 16th notes. We need to wrap our mind around where the beat is falling, because I'm playing groups of 6 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the beat goes down after every 4th note. I just emphasized every note where the click falls. What's important to me here is that I'm offering you a concept that you can adapt to your particular specific needs. The idea is we want to learn something up to tempo, and we do so by breaking it down into a small unit that we're playing at halftime and then a time, and then at halftime and then a time, back to back. Or you play it at time and then a double time, quadruple time. But the idea is we're playing this unit back to back, and we're switching what the click means in between each round. Some ways to make this exercise easier is to go up and down with the same permutation exercise. Don't worry about switching to the mirror image quite yet. Another way is to always do a permutation that starts with number 1, because that's easier to sort of orient ourselves when we're doing the switch. And another way, of course, is to take the click down. So I'm going to demonstrate a tempo 88 for you right now, and I'll show you how to go from half notes to quarter notes to eighth notes to 16th notes, and you can decide on the fly what tempo you're ready for. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half notes. Quarter notes. Now if that was hard, go back to half notes right there. I'm going to go to quarter notes and then to eighths. Quarter notes and eighths. Now I'm going to do eighths and 16ths. Again, the beat will fall on odd places, but that's just what it is. So don't even worry about that. We don't have a downbeat right now to adhere to or to be ready for something specific on the top of the bar. Quarters, eighths. And I have started this whole ordeal with index, so I'm just going to be mindful that every top of the group starts with the index. Coming up to the switch. Still starting with index. Quarter. Eighth. Quarter. Eighth. So here is 16th notes and 8th notes. You do that for a few rounds, and then you can try to do 2 fast ones back to back like this. And see how that goes. As soon as you feel you're squeezing the neck, your shoulders are up by your ears, your face is all tight and bunched up, you have to take a step back, do some PORA, do maybe quarter notes and eighth notes. But the idea of speeding up every other figure, or maybe speeding up 2 and then do a slow one in between, really works. As soon as you feel you're stumbling over your fingers, don't keep doing the same thing. Change it. Play every other one slow and do that for a while. So the idea is you want to barely be able to hang, but you don't want to get to that point where you're practicing the stumbling, because that obviously then make you sound great stumbling. A lot of thought and care goes into putting talking technique together. I have advisors. I have people who help me with the sound. If you enjoy my teaching, if you enjoy this systematic and comprehensive approach, please check out my 20-unit course. It's a very in-depth course that goes through music theory for the bass player, my book, but also way beyond, and it has a huge technique component. I call it Finger Kung Fu, and I guide you through weekly exercises that get progressively harder and keep challenging you, and I'm with you every step of the way. In the next Talking Technique episode, I'm going to show you how to use this limberness and independence that we work so hard to get in this pivot permutations, how to use that in a groove. See you then.